You see, Pastor Stanley mentioned that the Quran also speaks about the Torah, which is the law of Moses, and the Injil, meaning the gospel of Jesus, no doubt. See, there is a relationship between the teachings of Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. To us Muslims, in actual fact, this is all one religion. There's only one religion. These are not three distinct religions, but it's a different subject. As soon as I start expounding that, you need more time. But the Quran tells us that we believe in the principle that Moses was inspired by God, David was inspired by God, Jesus was inspired by God, and whatever they gave out in the respective times, it was from God, infallible. But those words were not preserved in the pristine purity. That is what we are questioning. We are not questioning Moses, but what was written was not written by Moses. If he had signed his name, no problem. If Jesus had countersigned Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, there would have been no problem. But since Jesus didn't write a word, in his lifetime not a word was written. He didn't write it, nor did anybody write a word in his lifetime. These are all books, anonymous books. And the Christian scholars are telling us they have no ulterior motives. I might have, but not your scholars. What ulterior motive do they have to tell you that Matthew has used Mark's gospel freely? In the language of the school teacher, he was copying wholesale from Mark. And Mark was not even one of the 12 disciples of Jesus. Why should an eyewitness and a ear witness like Matthew go and copy somebody who wasn't there? It doesn't make sense. And in the book itself, Matthew tells us, Matthew 9:9, it says, while he, Jesus, was going forth into the way, Jesus, saw a tax collector called Matthew. And Jesus, comes up to him and he says to Matthew, follow me. And Matthew, followed him, Jesus. Who wrote that? God write it? Did Jesus write it? No. Did Matthew write it? No. Yes. If Matthew wrote it, he would say, while he was going forth into the way, he saw me at the tax collector's table, and he came up to me and told me to follow him, and I followed him. This is written by somebody else.